Well, Gaffer, back to league action this weekend with the visit from Rochdale, and again, very similar to other teams we've faced in recent weeks. People will point to the league table and say this, that and the other, but Keith Hill's teams, they're never one to give up.
No, they're not, and ultimately they've got good players, and he's suffered a lot with injury, Keith has. They came here last year and win. They gave us a real tough game earlier in the season, went in front, could have been further in front with Rochdale luck, and then eventually turned it round to win the game. But it's going to be about what we do, how we walk the ball enough, how we defend well enough, and we're looking forward to it.
And without harping back to games in the past, because I know you like to look forward, there were so many positives to take from that performance at Stamford Bridge, and so many selection headaches, I guess. I mean, I've been trying to work out what you're going to do at the weekend, and it's tough because you've got a lot of good players available.
Well, if we could take the first half from Middlesbrough and the second half from Stamford Bridge, we'll be very happy, won't we? Because the level at Stamford Bridge in the second half mirrored the first half at Middlesbrough, really. The difference have been, of course, that we take the chances. We may change the formation. We've worked on a couple of things today, so we may change that around a little bit to give us the two-man strike force, if you like, but we'll decide on that when I sit down with the staff this afternoon. We've worked in 2 or 3 options.
And ultimately, it's about getting the ball to those creative players, because as you saw in the second half at Chelsea and in the first half against Middlesbrough, when they've got the ball, they're a real threat. Yeah, they are. You know, you have to give players who like the ball at their feet and create. You have to give them it to their feet. And but we've been working hard, not just in the last week or so, but all season. But yeah, we've got some excellent offensive players, but they have to defend as well, and that was part of why we were so successful at Stamford Bridge, is that they worked incredibly hard back to get in good areas to get on the ball. So that criteria shouldn't change. Jason Naismith skippered the side in midweek. I think he was a boyhood Chelsea fan, so he's been telling me he's always got that on his record, that he's skippered a successful side at Stamford Bridge, and as I say, he continues to thrive in whatever position you put him in.
Well, as I said to our players afterwards, you know, Stamford Bridge is one of those iconic football grounds, isn't it, with the heritage that comes with such a fantastic football club. And to some of the lads, I said, if you've played in Stamford Bridge once and you've won there, you can tell the grandkids when you're my type of age. So from that point of view, these memories are there forever. But we have to part that now. The checker trade is gone, and we're trying to focus on Rochdale tomorrow.
And sometimes players come out of nowhere to a certain extent and give you a real thought process. Callum Cook obviously played at Stamford Bridge, did well in midfield. Many people probably had written him off, but shows that, you know, given the opportunity, he's got something about him.
Well, we hadn't written him off, as you know. You're regularly in our briefing meetings to the squad. Cookie's suffered a little bit with illness and injuries and moving down, all the things that you can go through, but you've seen the confidence we had him to put him back on the pitch against Peterborough. And I thought the second half, when he came on, he gives us a bit of a spark again, although the cup tie is dead. He was very, very good in a reserve game on Monday, and therefore to play in that and do as well as he did on 45 minutes, we knew we were going to play him at Stamford Bridge. We substitute him in that reserve game, and he was good, but you know, he set that benchmark now for performance, and it's the player that we signed that's produced the last 45 minutes in a cameo at Middlesbrough.
And of course, you've got Cole Dempsey, Ben White, Alex Woodyard, all available for selection as well. Adds to the group.
It does. You know, nothing beats competition for places, but in reality, in central midfield, we should always have 4 or 5 options. Always, just by the nature of how the squad is built. And if you look, we've got Alex, our captain, we've got Reedy, we've got, as you say, we've got Cookie, and we've got the new boy in as well. So that's 4 players.
In terms of players out, Barry's still working to get some of those deals done. Sebastian Bissong, is he still with us?
Well, Seb's with us contractually for another 2 weeks. We've given Seb permission to go and talk to our club, so we'll see where that goes. But you know, we won't be renewing Seb's contract when it's up in a couple of weeks' time, so he'll move on. But he goes with our best wishes. Great professional, and just couldn't shake off 1 or 2 things that he had to force himself into your thoughts.
Of course, that was the advantage from your point of view. And you said when you first signed him that it was going to be a 3-month thing. It wasn't anything any longer at that particular junction. It's a sensible approach that has borne fruit. Yeah, listen.
You know, we said it was a good deal for us financially wise. You know, it would have been obviously a lot more money if he'd been in the team, but he'd been deserving it if he's in the team. He couldn't break in, but I'll tell you what, he's a fantastic guy. He's a real nice man, good father, good professional. I couldn't send him anywhere with more compliments, if you like. So, you know, we'll probably see him in and around the building for a week or 2, but we certainly wish Seb and his family every success.
And in terms of your squad, obviously you can have probably 6 or 7 who are contractually obliged to the football club that might not make the squad at the weekend. And that, I suppose, is a suggestion that you've got 1 or 2 that you need to get out of the building in the next couple of weeks.
We've had 4 or 5 inquiries for different players to take loans. I'll pass those inquiries to Barry because that becomes a financial discussion, not a football decision. The football decision's already been made that certain players will leave either on loan or permanent. So Barry now takes up the mantle and gets on with his job. The last time I seen him today was heading up into the trees in the training ground on the telephone. Listen, we've got good players here. They need to go and play some football. And there's a number of clubs that want to make that happen. So if Barry can agree the financials, probably by next week we might see 3 or 4 go out the door. But it's and we'll wish every one of those lads good luck.
Checkatrade Trophy draw. You said anyone away. Portsmouth away, top of the table, and I guess if you're going to go all the way, then you've got to beat everybody. But I guess given the schedule that you've got coming up, you'll be looking at that with interest in terms of your squad selection. Yeah,
listen, I made it clear before the match at Stamford Bridge to our chairman. I made it absolutely clear. It falls in between Luton Town away and Charlton at home. It is very, very clearly. It's not even the third priority that week. It's probably number 12. We'll treat the competition with respect, but it'll probably resemble where we were early in the season when I made 10, 11 changes. It doesn't come any tougher in League One, especially the Challenger fighting for one of those promotion places in that top 6. It doesn't come any tougher than Luton and Charlton, so that will be the focus.
And because you've obviously strengthened your squad with the players that have come in, it's not going to be exactly a weaker side because you've got such ability within the squad now.
Well, yeah, we're probably expecting 3 or 4 of them to go, Phil, before the Checkatrade. So it may be a combination of who's on our bench plus 2 or 3 stepping up from our youth side. But we've got 2 or 3 talented boys in that youth team, so they can step up and enjoy a good evening at another wonderful place to go and play football. But it certainly the focus and the strength in the squad will be used with Luton and Charlton.
And just finally, Harrison Burrows, youngster, will be signing a pro deal ahead of the game on Saturday, and a player you identified quite quickly when you walked through the door.
I've seen it within a week, watched the youth team play, and rang Barry and asked who Burrows was. I think he's 16 years old. He'll be on the pitch tomorrow with his mum and dad as guests of the football club, and I've given him a big hug this morning, knowing that what he's going to do tomorrow. But he's a young man who has a chance. But as I reminded him today, he has a chance. And so signing the first professional deal is the first step after your academyship. So from that point of view, well done to the youth department. It's about finding the right ones. It's not about finding numerous ones if they're right.